welcome to Big Movie Mouth Off, sponsored by Big Shiny Robot, home of geek news and online home to Big Movie Mouth Off clips. We're here at Broovy Cinema Pub to review more movies today. I'm Jeff Weiss from MSN.com.
And I'm Jimmy Martin with SLUG Magazine.
Our next movie is Hereafter, Clint Eastwood's triptych fantasy sort of concerning the afterlife. Matt Damon is a psychic who's trying to go normal. He wants a normal life, but he keeps getting pulled back in by Jay Moore.
His brother.
By Jay Moore, a young British boy who's lost his twin, and a French newscaster who has had a brush with death, including a tsunami.
Give me your hands. I don't even do this anymore.
Your brother, I'm telling you, he's really for real. You can make money doing this.
For a while, had an office, a website, newspaper articles, even had a book written about him.
So what happened?
Couldn't cope.
You know what? Right walking out of this movie, I thought to myself, you can't take 3 simple, boring short stories, loosely connect them at the end,
Right?
very loosely, and then call it a film.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that doesn't work for me, and Clint Eastwood should know better than that.
Hey, you know what it reminded me of? A 6-year-old who's learning to tie shoes and accidentally ties his shoes together and trips. That's how Clint Eastwood has tied these stories together in the most clumsy, prone to accident way possible. It would help if all the stories were interesting. The Matt Damon story actually could have served as the basis for an interesting drama/thriller.
True.
When he was on screen and he has a relationship with Bryce Dallas Howard,
I think she's charming in this movie.
and I'm not a big Bryce Dallas Howard fan, but their stuff is really good. I
They
wanted
clicked.
a whole lot more of it.
Yeah.
And then they'd cut away to the young British twin who... That kid's awful.
He starts reiterating my hatred for children actors. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, there are about a dozen out there that can pull it off, but if you don't look for them, it ain't gonna work.
And he's awful, and the storyline's awful. It's one of those that stretches credibility because he's thrown in with a foster family who these people have the patience of legendary patience these people have with this bratty little kid who's running off repeatedly, and they never call the cops on him.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, I roll my eyes at it. Oh, and by the way, I'm not even bringing up that third story with the French girl with the really goofy teeth and the really goofy hairstyle. Awful.
Yeah.
Cécile de France, you suck. And when they tie her story back in with Matt Damon at the end, I nearly started shouting at the screen.
Yeah.
Which
It was Eastwood putting a giant shiny ribbon, around it and calling it a present for the audience.
Yeah.
And sorry, but it's, I'd like to return it because
what's really funny is I can see people overreacting to this because it's really understated and it's got one of those really subtle Clint Eastwood music scores. I hate to tell you, it's boring. This is a boring movie.
yeah, it really is. And what's sad about it, and the opening sequence is this tsunami catastrophe
Yes.
that hits this island, and for me, the visuals are great, and I loved it, and it was this
I think she experienced that.
sheer panic was going through my mind as watching these people run for their lives.
Right.
And I'm like, wow, this is going to be, an entertaining film.
It was very in your face and energetic.
Yes, and first-person camera shots and like showing you like what a tsunami could do to a small village on an island, and it's horrifying. 5 minutes later,
If you're worried about being on your
done, and it was boring, and it never got back to the way it started.
Right, and thank you for bringing up the tsunami. At one point, Cécile de France's character is washed onto a log that she's holding onto for dear life, and is smashed into by a vehicle, and recovers miraculously from getting smashed into by a washed-up vehicle. I'm sorry. Please reconsider, because I'm sorry. as goofy as her hair is and big as her woman fro is, that is not going to protect you from a washed-up vehicle. You can pump all the water out of her lungs. She is not going to survive that. Oh, and by the way, I wish she hadn't survived, because then we wouldn't have that boring third of the film.
Yeah, it's, when I hear Clint Eastwood, I mean, a lot of his films I grew to love. I mean, I think I liked Invictus more than most people. I liked.
You did more than I did.
I liked Gran Torino a lot.
You liked that a lot more than I did then.
But this one, I come out disappointed, just thinking like, really, Clint? Like, this is what you came to give us this year? I left disappointed. It's boring. It's 3 short films I never wanted to see, and
now I'll take exception to that. It was one of the 3 I wanted to see, and that was the Matt Damon story.
Okay, I'll give you one.
I will give it mad props for this. Clint Eastwood, I don't need to hear any more tinkly piano score for you for the rest of my life. Please, just give it up. Just now. Give it up. Give it up. Give it up. Matt Damon, good. And it's for Matt Damon and the Matt Damon storyline that I give Hereafter 2 stars.
I think I'm writing about the same thing. I don't think I found the French woman as irritating as you.
I want to strangle her till her hair pops off.
I think you do. I think you can see a vein popping in your forehead. But with that, I mean, the storyline is it can't be defended of good. I can't see anybody saying that those things are entertaining.
Oh, by the way, I should bring this up. The film's written by Peter Morgan, who wrote Frost Nixon and The Queen.
What happened?
I don't know. He got delusions of M. Night Shyamalan grandeur or something. I don't.
He just dreamed him up and wrote it on a notepad and said these ideas are good.
And Peter Morgan, you go back to the drawing board.
I give it 2.5 stars.
You're generous.
Yeah. Sorry, Clint.